front to it. That is the Gleacher Center. That's the downtown campus of the University of Chicago by Dirk Lohan, the grandson of Mies van der Rohe. You're going to notice there are no windows on the west side of the building. That's where the classrooms are. Dirk Lohan said students don't have time to look out the window. They need to be focused on their studies. That's why the University of Chicago's building coming up on our right here, folks, that is our downtown Apple flagship store, opened up in 2017 by the British architect Sir Norman Foster. The roof of the building resembles a giant iPad. The iconic Wrigley buildings, built in 1924 by Graham Anderson Probst and White. Helen Tower. It is currently the second tallest building in the city of Chicago. It was built in 2009 by the architectural firm of Skidmore, Owings and Merrill. The principal architect, Adrian Smith. The building rises 1,389 feet, 92 floors. It has 470 luxury condominiums. A building here on our right is very important here in Chicago. That's the American Medical Association, formerly the IBM headquarters. It was built in 1971 by the great German architect. Many of his students embraced it, but one student did not. You know how I know that? Look at these buildings right here. This is Marina City, 1964-1967, by the architect Bertrand Goldberg. Goldberg was a student of Mies van der Rohe. His philosophy was, there are no right angles in nature, so why should there be right angles in architecture? You have 260 Steve McQueen's The Hunter, in which Steve McQueen drove his car off the 13th floor parking lot into the Chicago River. It was quite a stunt at the time. If you were living in Chicago in the early 1900s, 1914 by the architect George Nimmons as a grocery warehouse. For a short time, it was the home of Encyclopedia Britannica, and it's currently the offices of Whirlpool here in Chicago. Built in 2009 by the architects Picard and Chilton, it received the highest award an energy-efficient building can receive, LEED Certified Platinum. Built in 1930 by Graham Anderson Probst and White, classic Art Deco, limestone with vertical setbacks. The building was actually built to house the Marshall Field Warehouse. It's 4.25 million square feet, takes up 5 acres of land, has over 500 showrooms, and over 8 miles of corridors. Joseph P. Kennedy, the patriarch of the Kennedy family, during the Great Depression on back taxes for $13 million, historical piece of land here in Chicago. This is called Wolf Point. You have Wolf Point East, which is going up right here. That's going to be a 60-story residential building by the architects Pelly, Clark, and Pelly. Land there, and it's where it's believed that they met the Native American tribe, the Miami. And the Miami referred to the land around them as Chicagowa, which actually translates to by Geshin Partners. The base of this building is only 40 feet wide. It's about the width of our boat. They have 16 10-ton caissons that go deep down into bedrock that supports the building at the base. But look up, folks. How do you support the building from the wind just knocking it back? It is the Boeing headquarters. You have a 36-story structure that goes up to the clock tower there, and another 13-floor structure right here with an outdoor plaza. It also happens to be one of our Wendella water taxi stops. You can actually take a water taxi from our dock. Now these next two black buildings coming up on our right, that's Gateway Center 1 and Gateway Center 2 by the architects Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill. Now they were students of Mies van der Rohe. They listened to the Chicago Skid Row, sleazy hotels and flop houses. Now if you go there, it's the trendy West Loop of the city of Chicago. 5-star restaurants and boutique hotels. Will. You're going to get your first look, second look up close and personal. The building began construction in 1969 and was completed in 1974 by the architectural firm of Skidmore, Owings and Merrill. The chief architect, Bruce Graham. The chief engineer, Dr. Fazler Khan. 76 are independent buildings. The serrated corners. That's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, built in 1987 by Fujikawa and Johnson, side of the center of the building. As the towers go up, they actually bow out. They look like quotation marks. It's done that way to support the center of the building so that the two towers don't come crashing over. Of Chicago performs. It was built in 1929 by Graham Anderson Probst and White. It's classic French Renaissance style of architecture on the outside. But if you stood here on our right, was a 10-story office building called the General Growth Building. Well, they tore that building down. If you come back in 2022, This is going to be a 50-story bank. This red brick building, folks, this is the Great Lakes building. But what's historic is what used to be on the site right here. What used to 60, the Republican National Convention was held on that site. Does anyone know what President of the United States was nominated in 1860? Curved glass building here on our right. That's 333 West Wacker Drive, built in 1983 by Cohn, Pedersen, and Fox. Now the back side of the building is straight to reflect the straight grid of our city streets. The front of the building is curved. His father, Tom Bueller's office, was in that building when he looked out his office window. The metal structures you see under the bridges, those are actually known as variants. You can actually sit along the Riverwalk there or stand up on Wacker Drive and watch it. It's by Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill. Now that fountain along the Riverwalk there is real popular with kids. They like to run up and down there and get wet. That's the LaSalle Wacker building. It was built in 1930 by Halliburton Root. That setback where you see the flag there, that acted as lighting and ventilation for those offices in the Summer Drive. By the Spanish architect Ricardo Bofill. It's what we call postmodernism architecture. You have a Greek temple structure at the top and Roman arches at the base. What the architect is doing is blending modern elements of architecture with classical elements of architecture. And you see 55 West column going all the way up the side of the building. Now you see the metal objects in the windows. Those actually serve a purpose. They're called mullions. What they do is they attract light into the offices. It's a way of... that's actually 24 karat gold leaf on top of that building. That's the Carbide and Carbon building, the St. Jane Hotel. It's actually built during Prohibition by the Burnham Brothers. The Bur Tower, it's flanked by the Wyndham Hotel on one side and the London House Boutique Hotel on the other. But I want to draw your attention behind you to this beautiful French Beaux-Arts building. That's 35 East Coast. Those Tempiolos were actual water towers. The building had its own water source in case of a fire. Folks, this roadway off here on the right, that's Wacker Drive. It's the quickest way with you guys aboard the 90-minute Lake and River Architecture Tour. My name is Thomas. I'll be at the bottom of the ramp if any of you should have any questions or want any recommendations on things to do here.